Hi, Martine here with Rising Women Network, and welcome to Rising Masterclass, your weekly dose of inspiration and practical information to grow your business. I'm going to teach you how to plan your best year yet. With this strategy, you can implement planning your best year every year. The key is to have a plan. You can create a year that you will remember for the rest of your life. You don't have to squander another year. Life doesn't have to be so hard. You don't have to be in the same place next year. You can take the advantage of the time you have right now and make this year your best year yet. I'm not going to suggest that you can control the outcome of your year. Things happen all the time in life that you can't control. However, if you plan and set goals, you increase your odds of having the most spectacular year. Resources I use to plan my best year are my Boss blog planner, which you can grab at Amazon.com, and also my goal setting in action workbook, which you can grab at risingwomennetwork.com/goals, and I have that resource for you free of charge. To get started, grab your favorite resources. I have mine, so we can write all this down. This way, you will actually do the steps and have something to keep you accountable. Let's get started. Number one, reflect on the last year. Audrey Stanley says, experience teaches you nothing. Evaluated experience teaches you everything. The first step to planning your best year is to reflect on your last year. You need to look back at what you did last year and compare it to your goals and visions for this year. Your experiences from last year can help you create your best year yet. But you have to evaluate those experiences so you know what worked and what didn't. In the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, Maxwell writes about how at the end of each year, during the week in between Christmas and New Year's, he looks back through his calendar from the previous year and reflects on how he spent his time. He looks at his calendar day by day, month by month, and takes inventory of what he did. Then he compares his time spent to his goals and visions for his life. Doing this shows him the good, the bad, and the ugly from the last year. Then he takes that information and plans the next year, aiming to make it the best year ever. Each year is better because it is planned intentionally. To evaluate your last year, look at your calendar from the last year and see how you spent your time each month, week, and day. Granted, the first time you're doing this, you may not have as detailed of a calendar as you would have if you knew you were going to do this. But do your best. In the future, you will know the importance of keeping track of this stuff so you can track what you do more meticulously on your calendar. I track everything from the activities that I do to the appointments that I have to when I'm sick. Once you've taken a look back at your year, ask yourself some questions about last year. How did you do in each of the 7 life categories last year? The 7 life categories I use are personal life and social life, work life, family life, spiritual life, finance, mindset, and health. What are your overall feelings for the last year? What did you like about last year? What did you accomplish? What did you hate about last year? What disappointed you? If you could change anything about last year, what would it be? Write the answers to these questions down, but really write them down. It is so much more effective if you write down the answers because writing down words on pages forces you to organize and bring clarity to your thoughts. Once you have taken inventory from last year, it's time to move on to step 2. Number 2, write down big visions for your life. Next, write down big visions you have for your life. Think about your life from a very high level and think about how you want to be remembered. Make sure you write them down. It's not enough to think about what you think you would want to do. Make a list. Your list can include things you want. This is a list of what you want to do. So make sure it reflects your deepest desires. Example of big vision you want for your life are: have a family who you prioritize over everything else. Become financially independent. Work for yourself doing something you love. Practice a life of generosity. Make the world a better place. The reason it is important to write down what you want to do before you die is because it gives you direction. Without knowing what you want, you'll wander without intention, which can be dangerous. You could end up somewhere completely out of line with your values. The clearer you are about what you want, the more likely you are to live fulfilled without regrets. Number three, the third step is to set goals. If step two involves thinking of the big things that you want to accomplish, step three is the smaller stuff, equally as important as step two, just different. To set goals, use the SMART method. Under this method, goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely. This means when you create goals, they should be narrow in writing, achievable, related to your dream, and have a deadline. Write your goals down, give them a deadline, hold yourself accountable, make sure they are realistic. Examples of two bad goals that aren't specific, measurable, or timely are: get on track financially this year and be more careful with my credit card. Example of two good goals that follows the SMART methods are: save $5,000 by December by putting $417 a month into a saving account, and pay off $2,400 of credit card debt by December by putting an additional $200 every month onto my bills. The good goals are specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and timely. The bad goals are vague, don't have a timeline, and are not measurable. A good way to know whether you are setting an appropriate goal is whether you are: one, staying inside your comfort zone, which is bad; getting outside your comfort zone, which is good; or being delusional, which is bad. You want to set goals that stretch you outside of your comfort zone, that are a reach for you, but not so far of a reach that they are delusional. Number four, find your why. The fourth step is to find your why. This may sound a little hokey, but this is really important. Finding your why means that you need to know why it is you want what you want. Think about all the things you listed above that you want to do before you die and ask yourself why. Think about your goals that you want to accomplish and think about why you want them. Sounds easy, but the reality is that you really don't know your real why. Usually, your real why isn't the first answer to that question. Instead, it's much deeper than that. But it's so important that you find it because without it, it will be really hard for you to accomplish your goals. Your reasons won't be strong enough. So, to find your why, ask yourself, why is it you want what you want from step two and three? Continue to ask yourself why over and over, 7 times at least, in order to peel back the layers and find your real why. Knowing your why propels you forward. It keeps you going when things get tough. Once you find your real why, nothing will stop you from living your best year ever. Step five, Set up systems to implement your best year ever. Finally, you need to set up systems to implement your best year ever. You've done all these substantive work in steps 1 through 4, and now you need to implement your plan. If you have systems in place that you know will keep you on track, use them. Otherwise, here are a few ways that I use. 1, create a digital calendar. If you don't really use one, it's critical that it's digital because you need to be able to move tasks and appointments around constantly. Put deadlines on your calendar to accomplish your goals. Include lots of deadlines with mini goals. Put monthly check ins on your calendar to reflect and revise your plan based on your progress. Use my goal setting and action workbook for this. When the date and time arrives, go over your progress and evaluate your experiences. Make changes where necessary. You can use my Boss blog planner to plan your next year so you design it intentionally. I use it and I love it. And you can also use a productivity app that will help you stay accountable. I've used Evernote, Day One Journal, and reminder apps. Find tools that works for you and use them. So, a final note, I believe you can make this year your best year ever. Like I said before, life doesn't have to be so hard, and you don't have to be bored. You can make this year your best year yet. Follow these steps to create your best year ever. Reflect on last year by reviewing your calendar. Write down big visions for your life, set goals, find your why, and set up supportive systems. Like last year, at the end of this year, review what you've done during the previous year and start the process over. You can do this every year and make your next year your best year yet. It's all about living intentionally. And to do that, you need to follow these steps. As a bonus, I created the goal setting and action workbook to help you crush your goals, which you can download for free, which you can download at risingwomennetwork.com/goals. If you're not a subscriber and found this video to be valuable, then make sure you sign up, and I'll see you next week for our next Rising Masterclass.